It is an uncomfortable statistic.
There are roughly 42,000 substantiated cases of abuse and neglect in our Commonwealth. Just the visual would be the filling up of Fenway Park.
Joan Wallace Benjamin is the head of the Home for Little Wanderers, which is actually a series of homes, group and residential facilities for children, some of whom have been so traumatized by abuse and neglect they don't fit into a traditional foster home. Within that group, older children on the verge of aging out. That's the term for kids who turn 18 and are freed from state custody. But that freedom is a misnomer, says Wallace Benjamin. For many of these kids, it feels more like being pushed off a cliff.
And we were finding that the young men that were in that program would leave at 18, and they kept coming back to us. They came back for advice. They came back because they were hungry and wanted to eat. And, the director at the time, she's like, these are my boys. I can't, then they're struggling. And then finally she came to us and said, we have to do something. The investment we've made in our young men, for example, at Roxbury House, can we do some follow-along?
And that follow-along is a challenge. With a list of more than 150 kids waiting to get into some type of permanent home, the Home for Little Wanderers tries to fill in the gaps.
It's a drop-in center in Dorchester where kids who have aged out can kind of come, get support. This facility has showers, has a kitchen, has a washer and dryer, because often kids would come in with no place to sleep that night. They'd been couch surfing, or they'd been sleeping on the street, or they were hungry.
Wallace Benjamin says, as far as investments go, this is a no-brainer.
And so if we could give them everything they need to pull themselves together and get them educated, get a job, you really could, in relatively short order and with modest investment, put somebody back on their feet and launch them.
In Brighton, Karen Toomey, WBZ News Radio, 1030.